What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome to another video. It's currently 41 minutes past 11 on Sunday the 1st of October. We're going to be doing our standard weekly review and our expectations for the oncoming month, as we are now in October, so that's nice to see. I do believe this month's going to be quite interesting, and yeah, we're going to start with the monthly on DXY, and we'll get straight into things. A lot of what I'm going to say is what I've been saying pretty much for the past since last week, but it's always good to go over things and yes, keep our memory fresh. So this was obviously September's month, and you can see we've just started October's month now. And what we need to think about is, what do we expect? Are we expecting a green closed month, which means are we going to close higher, or are we expecting a down closed month? I'm expecting a green close, as I am anticipating a trade into this fair value gap, so I'm going to mark that out now. And we're going to make that blue, make it this blue. And yeah, if the fact that I'm expecting us to fill this fair value gap in, or to start trading into it, and I'm expecting a green close candle, means that I can expect the first week or 2 weeks of October to be the manipulation phase, which is when I'm expecting the low of the month to be made, since I'm expecting the high to be, made within this fair value gap. So with that taken into consideration, we can start to look at the weekly a little bit more closely and try to anticipate how price may want to draw into this. As well, we've already started, as you can see. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to grade it. I have done this before in some of this week's videos, but I'll just do it again, and we'll just grade it into quarters. And what this allows us to do is anticipate where we expect price to, what targets in terms of within the fair value gap we're expecting price to draw to as it works its way through it, because it does it in a step-by-step process, it does it in a process, and I'll show you what I mean by that on the low time frame, because we have already reached, as you can see, we've already reached this 25% level, and you'll see what price did when we did reach there. So now that I've graded it into quarters, we can drop down to the weekly. And oh yeah, I also wanted to mark out this swing high. I have spoke about this swing high before, but this is a breaker swing high, because we have a swing low here, a high here, a lower low here, and we've just traded through this high on the monthly now, which means that this level now should be very reactive. So I'm going to keep my eyes on it, because I see this as a monthly breaker high. So I want to see price trade back into that, basically. So I'm going to just put that in the middle, put it on the right, and we can make it black, and I'll just expand that out. Let's look at, we also want to try and identify any other PD arrays that we see. So obviously we have this fair value gap, we have this breaker, swing high. Do we see any others? We have this order block down here as well. So I'm going to mark out the order block open, monthly order block open. And although price might not go down there, it's good to have on our charts, so that when we are in the low time frame, we can have a better look, and we can have a better idea of where we are within price action. But that's pretty much everything from the monthly. Let's go down to the weekly, and we're going to do the same thing. Are we expecting an up close week or a down close week? You can see we've had up closes weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks of up close weeks. And what did I just say? I just said that I'm expecting an up close month, which means that the first 2 weeks or first week of the month, I'd like to see the low get made. And with that in mind, and considering we've traded to this quarter level target as well, I would like to see a down week, which means the high of the week would have to be made Monday, Tuesday, and then the low of the week would close off the week, is what I'm saying. So in terms of our targets, again, I would like to see us trade it down into this monthly breaker high. We also have a nice weekly fair value gap resting just outside of the range of the monthly fair value gap. However, price may not want to leave this range, but I'll mark out this still as a weekly fair value gap, as you may want to touch it. But I'm also going to mark out this wick here, and the reason for that is because I'd expect price to want to come down. If we are going to trade back into this monthly breaker high, it's likely going to want to rebalance itself, so I can see that price may want to draw down back into this swing high. So I'm going to draw that out as well, and I'll just call it weekly wick high. And then obviously the lower time frames we go into, we can look for more PD arrays on lower time frames that pricing want to draw to. Now, one thing to pay attention to is, again, this 25% level. Once we traded to it, we had this big reaction away from it. Yes, we still closed green, but you can see our price traded to that, and then we traded away from it. The fact that it's reached this target is why I've got my eyes set on these potential downside targets for price this week on Dixie. So I just want to keep these. In mind. And then I'm also going to mark out the 50% level off this wick, because that will be consequent encroachment. Remember, guys, wicks are gaps too. So if you treat this like a fair value gap, we're going to treat it the same way in terms of grading it. But I am only going to mark out the 50% level, which is 106.507. And then I can write consequent encroachment, weekly consequent encroachment. And I'd like to see this level gets respected if we are to trade down to this weekly high. If we are to trade down, into this monthly breaker high. So let me say that again. Wicks are gaps too. If we are to move lower, I want to see this weekly wick 50% level get respected, and then see us move lower for the rest of the week. But let's go to the daily now. And you can see, look how price respects that level. We had an aggressive break lower. Right now it's consolidating. We're trading back into this bearish order block. Again, we've got that weekly consequent encroachment that I've just marked out, which lines up nicely as well with pretty much the 50% level off the order block, as you can see, which is what you call mean threshold. So again, there's reason for price to want to turn around there, or need to turn around there. And then just below this wick, we have that fair value gap on the weekly, which is this. And that would be where the sell stops. Also a nice daily fair value gap there. So again, there's reason for price to want to come down here, and I'm showing that here. So let's go to the 4 hour. And you can see how we're just running up. We're just about to take out this swing high. Again, fair value gap there. Do we have a breaker? We should have a breaker on a lower time frame. I believe this swing low. And there's obviously relative equal highs rested above here. So yeah, it's just a matter of waiting to see how Dixie treats this level. But it's interesting to see how we did come down, and look how we touched the bottom of that monthly fair value gap, and then we've expanded away from that now. But I am anticipating overall these lows to get ran on, whether that's later in the week or earlier in the week. So let's go to, I'm looking at it now, this high, that looks interesting, but we'll see. Again, a lot of price action on Monday would allow us to have a better look and a better understanding of where price is likely to draw to. Because one thing I wouldn't be surprised of is if we do sweep this swing high here, take out that buy side, and then for the rest of the week move down and take out this sell side. So let's mark out this as buy side liquidity. So price will want to sweep that, and then once that's taken, I'd then want to see price run down and see if it can take out the low that is created here. And remember, we have that weekly fair value gap resting here. But only time will tell. Right, let's is that, yeah, we have buy side liquidity there. Cool. We'll see if that wants to get taken. And there is an imbalance here. So you see how there's lots of confluences. Let me just write imbalance. And there's lots of confluences and areas that price may want to draw to in the earlier stages of the week when it's creating the high. But obviously Monday will give us a much more better idea. And yeah, let's go to GBP now. And we'll start on the monthly. As you can see, we do have a new month. Now GBP's been moving aggressively lower, and you can see that we have a breaker here. Why this high? We have a high, a low, a higher high, and we've just broken through on this candle now. So this, as we've traded through this, is now a breaker market structure. If you watch my backtesting videos, you'll understand what that is. And yeah, I do believe we are running down into these lows. However, like I said, we've just taken out this swing low, so I am expecting a retracement of some form. Am I expecting an up close candle or a down close candle for the monthly? I'm expecting a down close candle, which means the first 2 weeks I want to see us move higher. That's exactly what I was saying on Dixie. I'm expecting an up close monthly, which means the first 2 weeks I want to see some kind of down close weeks. So let's just keep that in mind. We'll drop down to the weekly, and then we can have a better look at the breaker. So this breaker here, high, low, higher, high, and then we've broken lower. So this range from this high to this low gives us the breaker, and you can see it's quite a large range. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mark out the 50% level of that breaker, as I'd like to see this get respected within this month if we are to move lower. So we've got 50% of the breaker. Let's make it thicker. And then I'm going to also mark out for this week specifically the 50% level of this weekly wick, which is consequent encroachment. 1, 2, 1, 5, 4, 9. Let's drag that out. Make it red, and we'll call it consequent encroachment. Weekly consequent encroachment. How long have we been going? 11 minutes. Cool. What am I doing? Sorry, guys. Right, so we have that weekly consequent encroachment. You'll see that we did trade into this fair value gap, which I called a while ago. If you've been watching my videos, you'll know about that. But it's nice to see that we closed it. And again, we've reached this target now, which says to me, okay, we've reached this discount PDRA. Now, what are the premium PDRAs that I want to see price draw to? We have this fair value gap here on the weekly that may want to get filled. So I'm going to keep our eyes we'll keep our eyes on that. And then we also have another fair value gap rested above that if price wants to get overzealous, as ICT likes to say, that we might want to reach to as well. Remember, I want to see the 50%, this 50% level get respected. You can see there's a lot of back and forth action here, and there's a gap here. If we're to move lower, this gap is allowed to get stayed open. It is a fair value gap, but again, I'd like to see this breaker get respected, especially since it's on the monthly and weekly. So let's drop down to the next, to the daily. And what do we have? We have a bullish order block here. That we might want to reach for, which is also the weekly consequent encroachment. And then we also have this swing high where I believe there's some beautiful buy side liquidity residing. We also have this fair value gap within a fair value gap, which is again confluence, more reason for price want to draw to this level. So we'll keep our eyes out on that. And then let's go down to the 4 hour. And you can see we're drawing down to that order block now, which is quite interesting. Now here's the thing, because of how quickly we're getting down here, I doubt this is going to make the low of the week. Probably won't. And that's why I have my eyes set on this south side. The same way I was saying on DXY, how we are already rushing up to that to this level, which is that consequent encroachment. Meaning that if we reach this within the next few hours, which we probably will by the looks of things, this buy side liquidity I'd like to see make the high of the week, as in I'd like to see the high of the week get made above it and then see us move lower. With GBP, I could say the same in terms of we might want to trade to this now. However, in terms of making the low of the week, I wouldn't be surprised if we took out these lows and then traded back through this. Remember, this blue box is the weekly fair value gap. Trade back through it and then ran off into these levels that we have resting there and there. This is just, again, with the Sunday review, this is just a idea of what price may want to do, but Monday will give us a much more better direction. But right now you can see we're just pulling down back into this breaker, so we will see. Where's the breaker here? Low, high, low, low, broke higher. So this level paired with the fair value gap, you can see we price to draw into that right now. But let's not get too excited. We'll go to the 1 hour. A lot of consolidation, expansion, but yeah, I doubt they're going to want to just leave those lows resting there like that. I highly doubt it. But yeah, overall, yeah, I'd like to see a up close week. So the low of the week, I'd like to see made on Monday or Tuesday, and then see us turn around and hopefully rush towards this buy side liquidity, which looks gorgeous. Right, now let's go to Euro to finish off. We'll start with the monthly on Euro as well. Euro's been crazy, just like GBP. I'm expecting a down close month, which means the first 2 weeks or 1 week I want to see an up close week. Where could we trade to? Well, we could rebalance with these wicks here, because remember, wicks are gaps too, and we're traded through that now, which means that this area should act as resistance. If this is a fair value gap and we traded through it on the downside, this area should now act as resistance. That is the logic. So I'm going to leave that out on the board, and then overall I'd like to see us draw down into these lows by the end of the, well, as we work our way through the month, but we don't need to worry about that for now. Let's go into the weekly, and you can see we have a beautiful volume imbalance here. That's going to suck price into it. So we can put weekly volume imbalance, which is as well, that shows a lot of bearishness on Euro side. How long we've been going? 15 minutes. There we go. And then yeah, pretty much this area we'll have to look on the lower time frames to see what we can find. We can look at the 50% level of this as well as a potential lower side objective. 105.295. Consequent encroachment. Let's go to the daily now. And yeah, same thing, we're trading in an order block. I'm going to trade down there, and again, these are relative equal lows plus this swing low here from the monthly. So price may want to take it out. It depends. I don't really want to say too much, but yeah, buy side liquidity resting up here though, so I do want to see that get taken. I expect price to want to run that, which it likely will. And then we have, like I said, that weekly volume imbalance that I would like to see get filled. Depending on how bullish we get throughout the week, we might want to run for these highs, but the fact that we have a weekly volume imbalance anyway shows a lot of bearishness on Euro's side, so I guess we'll have to wait and see with that. Yeah, relative equal highs, right? Yeah, it's likely going to trade above that and take out this buy side liquidity. These are very relatively equal. So these levels I definitely want to see traded to. Whether it happens on Monday or Tuesday depends. Let me just quickly look at the definitely a time to look at the news this week. Right, manufacturing. There's a Fed speech on the Monday, right? So there is yes, there is quite a lot of high impact news this week, and unemployment rates, and it's non-farm payroll. Oh, Lord. It's non-farm payroll, guys. Monday's gonna be lit, right? So I just realized it's non-farm payroll, and when it's non-farm payroll, it means Mondays tend to be a lot more active as we run up to the week. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow. There should be a lot more price action, and with that in mind now, I do anticipate these lows getting taken, and I do anticipate this buy side liquidity getting taken. But overall, I do want to see a down week, which means I do want to see this low get taken out eventually as well within the week. But we'll see. This is just a weekly review. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. I'm going to get some more backtesting videos out because I didn't drop any this week. I've been slacking. And yeah, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Thanks for watching. Peace.